from the Asian Community Development Council. This is Family in Focus, Mondays at 12 noon on PHLV Radio.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Family in Focus. Nice to have you today live on Valentine's Day. And because it's Valentine's Day, we think it's pretty appropriate to talk about the heart, right? Matters of the heart. And we're talking about here, of course, heart health. How to stay heart healthy on this National American Heart Month. And this is such an important topic for so many people in this country affected by heart disease. So we're going to bring in our nutrition and wellness manager for the Asian Community Development Council to talk with us about this. Of course, this impact not just the Asian American community, but our community at large. Such an important health topic. Of course, we've been talking about COVID-19 so much, but we're bringing light to this particular health topic. So Jaime Rangel is the nutrition and wellness manager for ACDC. Jaime, thank you so much and welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's nice to be here. Happy Valentine's Day, happy Heart Month. Of course, like you mentioned, it's super important to keep in mind all the things that we can do to be healthier. So having this conversation about heart health and how to do healthy things with our diet, with our routine, with our exercise habits, all of those are important things that we should be considering on a daily basis. So this is a really good time to talk about it, and I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, and it's just so much great information that people need to know, especially with how many people are affected by heart disease. So we're going to get you prepared here, and I know, Jaime, that you prepared a presentation for us to give the information for people, because there's so much, and I know people listen to the show, when they can on demand. So having this information that you're about to lay us for us here when it comes to your heart health, and as you said, your habits, your lifestyle, all those things can really come into play into keeping your heart healthy no matter what age you are, right, Jaime?
Of course. So we really want to talk about matters of the heart, perfect timing. And the importance of it is really taking care of yourself and loving your health. So we're going to talk about a couple different things, and mainly the big focus is on heart health, knowing some of the statistics. Like you were mentioning, Petrania, there's a lot of huge statistics out there and how just the general population is impacted by heart health and heart disease. So making sure we're doing everything to prevent that is key. We want to talk about recognizing heart disease, what some of the signs might be, how we can react to it, and more importantly, how we can prevent it by using things like healthy habits, healthy foods, and what community resources we have, for example, ACDC, to help make sure that we have access to some of those healthy habits and healthy foods. So talking about heart health, what does it mean? How do we dive deeper into this? Well, heart health is just important for feeling energized, feeling at your best. Of course, making small changes is the key way to do anything. You want to make sure that you're doing something that you're able to sustain. You're going to do something that you are going to enjoy. And so that's why we're going to talk about things that help us find what we like, what we enjoy doing, what we enjoy eating to help promote that heart health. And we want to take care of our heart in different aspects because there's so many different impacts that are related directly to heart disease. So for example, heart health is not a silo. It is something that impacts the rest of your body, the rest of your circulatory system, the rest of your processes. So higher instances of heart disease also leads to things like diabetes, higher instances of cancer, more issues with kidney failure, kidney disease. So taking care of your heart is the best way to start an overall happy and healthy routine. So like I said, I want to talk about some of the statistics. So the statistics are very eye-opening. 1 in every 4 deaths in the United States is related to heart disease. And about 2 people every minute die from some level of heart disease. So it's impacting everyone. It's impacting every community, and it's something that can be prevented. High blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke, specifically in the Nevada area, impacts 1 in 3 people. So that's really alarming. You have a household of 3, most likely one of those people will have one of these issues. And as you move forward, the chances of and chances of having some issues with heart disease increase based off of morbidities and other issues that are related to it. So doing whatever we can to prevent it is key. Currently, Nevada is ranked 33rd in heart disease, 31st in stroke, and 17th in high blood pressure nationwide. So brings it home a little bit. It gives you a little bit more of that insight as to it's not the other people, it's not the neighbors, it's not the people from a different state. It is everyone and anyone who is just generally living their daily routine. So taking care of yourself is key. And the top 4 causes of death amongst the AAPI community all relate to something associated with heart health and heart disease. Heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, like I said, all of those things are impacted when your heart isn't functioning at its best. So why not take care of that really, really important organ in your body? A little bit more about heart disease. So heart disease refers to several conditions of the cardiovascular system, including structural issues, including blood clots. So there's so many different ways that you can look at it, but in general, taking care of yourself and taking care of your heart is the best thing that you can go with. Complications of heart disease include heart attack, arrhythmia, heart failure. And some of the signs of these include things like chest pain, neck pain, nausea, vomiting, extreme heartburn, feeling dizzy. Even when you're having too much coffee, that sensation of having your heart flutter, those can be some of the symptoms of having issues like an arrhythmia. So being conscious of what your body is telling you is also an important thing to keep in mind. Heart failure, things like swelling ankles, swelling feet, even in the more extreme situations where you're having abdominal swelling, or even your neck, you're feeling this swelling, difficulty of swallowing happening. So there's so many different components of your body that are impacted by how your blood's circulating through your body. Because let's think about it. The heart is what pumps the blood throughout the body, and the blood is what carries all the nutrients that we need, all the oxygen that we need to feed those cells that are keeping us alive and steady. So if we have an impairment within that cardiovascular system that's keeping us alive and well, then that becomes a problem. Some of the issues, like you can see here in the picture, is as you start having issues with your heart, as you start having issues with your cardiovascular system, you can see how there's plaque formation that starts causing clogs, causing difficulties with blood flow. And so some of those symptoms are directly related to not being able to get that blood flow to all the parts of your body that you need. And then at times too, strokes could be when one of those pieces of the plaque breaks off and then it gets clogged or stuck in a different part that starts impacting your brain. So there's a lot of different things that you might notice when you're having one of these issues. And a key thing about it is knowing how to react to it, because really it's preventable. But once you get to that point, if there is an issue that's going on, you want to act fast. The faster you're acting, the more chances you have of reaching healthcare, reaching someone who's going to help you get through this process. And calling 911 is the most important thing that you can do. When you see some of these signs, you want to call 911 as quickly as you can, because as soon as those paramedics get to you, they start intervening and doing things that can help keep you from getting to more of a severe state. Trying to wait, trying to drive yourself to the hospital, all of those things are minutes that you're cutting off that might make it less likely for you to have good outcomes. So speaking on that, reacting, how do we react? Well, you want to act fast. Some of the signs of something that's a complication from heart disease is a stroke. So you might have heard this before, but acting fast. And those acronyms include FACE. What does a person's face look like? Is there some type of drooping? Are they having difficulties with their arms, holding their arms up in the air? If one arm is going up higher than the other and it's just an uncontrollable motion where you have no reason or idea why your arm's not going up, it's likely an issue of circulatory flow that's causing that impairment. Speech. Is someone having slurred speech? Are they having difficulty saying what they need to say? Are they having difficulty understanding what you're telling them? All of those are another sign of having a stroke. So call 911. It's very, very important. You want to take care of yourself, and you want to take care of others. So anytime you see this at the grocery store or anywhere else, you know what to do. You should act fast. So talking about once you're getting to the point of needing to react, it's important to know what you do, but more importantly, how can you prevent getting to that point? So heart disease is 80% preventable. There's so many things that we can do to help keep healthy habits and healthy eating routines going. So let's start off with those healthy habits. A healthy habit including maintaining a healthy weight, staying active, keeping track of your blood pressure, not smoking, reducing daily stress, being loving, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why all of those things are important, and getting a good night's sleep. So let me break it down a little bit for you. Maintaining a healthy weight. So when we're maintaining a healthy weight, we're helping make sure that we're having adequate nutrients, adequate protein, getting all the nutrients that we need to stay healthy. But at the same time, when you're at a healthy weight, you're helping reduce the levels of inflammation and unhealthy hormones that may cause you to have other issues. So maintaining that healthy weight is a huge part of being able to have something that's going to be promoting good heart health. Staying active. There's so much research that shows 30 minutes of moderate physical activity on a daily basis is key. We found out that even more of an issue than eating salty foods or eating high sugar foods is just being sedentary. Staying at home, not being active, not having some level of activity is more damaging than eating unhealthy foods. Now, finding a balance is key, but having some level of activity is super, super important. Watch your blood pressure. How do we do that? Going to your doctor's appointments, connecting with your healthcare system, making sure that you have some level of healthcare, and knowing what your blood pressure is. You want to keep that in a range because if there is some issue with it, there's always methods and solutions and monitoring that can happen to help get you back to a normal state. But once you get to that zone of being in the red where it might be almost too late, it's so much harder to work backwards. So knowing your blood pressure and acting on it, making sure that you're keeping that healthy blood pressure is huge. I'm going to talk a little bit more about diet in just a bit, but things that might impact you in a negative way actually is smoking. Excessive drinking. So having a balance between everything and having healthy habits is going to be huge. And the cholesterol we'll talk a little bit more about when we're discussing foods in this next slide. So healthy eating. Well, some of the most important things that you can do for your heart is including healthy foods. So a lot of times we think of a diet and we think of eliminating, we think of reducing, we think of being hungry, but the reality is a healthy routine. And I don't like using the D word because we really don't want to restrict what we're doing. We want to encourage healthier foods and healthier options that are going to be more nutrient dense. So having antioxidants, fiber, healthy fats, those are all things that are really, really going to do your heart a great job in making sure that it pumps well and that it's getting you to and towards what you need to do on a daily routine. So how you get those is from fruits, vegetables, eating the rainbow, all sorts of different colors of food. That's going to make sure that you're getting antioxidants. Also, those fruits and vegetables are going to have a great source of fiber, just like the whole grains that we want to include too. So barley, quinoa, brown rice, even if it's foods that you've never really had before, that you've never gotten accustomed to, you can always mix and match. It doesn't mean that you have to completely exclude some of the foods that you're already used to, standard pasta, standard white rice. You can always mix and match. And if you are doing something like having white rice, well, include some of the foods that are going to add some benefits to it, like those fruits and vegetables that I'm mentioning. Beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds are my favorite things to include in food because a lot of times we think that they have to be on their own. We have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We have lentil soup. We have seeds as a snack, but it doesn't have to be the case. We can mix and match those things with our foods to make sure that we're enjoying the foods that we're eating and we're getting some good benefits from it too. Non-fried fishes. So something like an omega from fish like salmon is huge. It helps keep a balance in your cholesterol levels. It helps increase and help with circulation. It also gives you a really good source of protein. So lean fish is really, really important and a great thing to have in your routine. Minimally processed lean meats. So chicken, beef, reducing all that excess fat, that's going to help reduce the cholesterol from it. So we're getting still our good sources of protein, but you're not including all that excess fat. That's what causes the issues with heart disease. And again, talking a little bit more about the healthy fats. So we have the fish, but we can also do olive oil. We can do avocado. All of those are great sources of fat that are also helping reduce the bad types of fat that we're trying to cut out as much as possible. So, of course, dietary guidelines are something that we want to keep in mind. So looking at labels can also be super helpful. Looking at labels that are telling you the item is going to be heart healthy. Something you might have heard plenty of times on TV is Honey Nut Cheerios. It mentions and it talks a lot about its heart health benefits. So when you're at the store, look for the little labels that talk about heart health and use those to your advantage, but also compare with the labels. So if you're looking at something and it says it's going to be more than 15-20% of your daily needs for salt, and it's just going to be a tiny little snack that you're having, you know, okay, well, it's probably going to be on the higher side. Saturated fat, 22 grams per day is what we're trying to stay within or below. So looking at those labels again and seeing how much saturated fat does it have? Does it have 10 grams of saturated fat in one serving? That's going to be really high. Sodium intake, sugars, keeping track of all of those are really, really important. So learning how to read those labels can be very helpful. And of course, knowing about the resources that you have available within your community. So for example, ACDC helps provide food resources for families who are in need. As a result of the COVID pandemic, ACDC was able to help out the community for people who were able to meet criteria, whether they had lost their jobs or they had reduced hours. A lot of those things were really impacting people's ability to be able to have healthy foods on the table. And not only that, sometimes only having access to foods from other food pantries or other resources that may not be the same as what families are used to having on their table. So ACDC really focused on providing healthy foods that were specific to the community. The AAPI community is that, as you can see here, there's different fruits, different vegetables. We've selected items in those packages that are focusing on lower sodium contents, that are going to be higher in fiber. So knowing the resources available in the community, even the education that can be provided, all of these are tips and tricks that you can help incorporate into your daily routine to make sure that you are staying healthy and strong. So to finalize the presentation, I wanted to just focus on encouraging you to connect, reach out to the community, eat healthier, and realize that there's so many resources available like what ACDC has to provide, health insurance, resources with food assistance, COVID-19 assistance. So welcome you all to participate, reach out to us, and thank you so much again for having me so that we can speak on this important matter of the heart.
All right. Thank you so much, Jaime, for all that great information. I know these are the kind of information that we all need. You know, a lot of things here, of course, are just, basic, information that seems like second nature, right? But now this is like, with so many people, as you can say, you read some of the stats, and it's amazing how 1 in 4 people, right, affected by heart disease now or die from heart disease every year, which is really crazy. But so, we were just talking about the food pantry, what ACDC has done. And I know they just did one last weekend, the Lunar New Year food distribution, and also the free vaccines that they did there as well. And they gave out food to nearly 1,000 families just this weekend. So, and I was looking through the boxes. I was out there yesterday as well, and they were, putting some of the stuff in there that are Lunar New Year related, things that we eat like the pomelo, just to get some vitamin C. And then we had some, different meats. And you said talking about lean meats, I saw some like pork in there, and pork is what they eat. I guess Lunar New Year is traditional. So that was really interesting. And they had, of course, all these root vegetables and noodles and things like that. So just the combination and keeping the balance. And, we were talking about how, the next food distribution event is not set now till November. So I know in between that, we want to really focus, especially taking your expertise of how we can do things. It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg to do something healthy and eat healthy, right? And you have some great examples for what people can do at home to keep to eat healthy every day.
Of course. So making sure that you're incorporating those healthy items, those healthy foods is really, really something that should be fun, that you're enjoying, that tastes great. And so some of the things that you might overlook that you see at the grocery store all the time are things as simple as grapes. You have your strawberries, and these are all going to have great sources of antioxidants. They're going to be great with fiber. They're going to help make sure that you're getting all the benefits to help prevent things like cancer, because they're taking those free radicals and they're pulling them away from you rather than them binding to your cells. Those foods are really acting to help provide those antioxidants to bind to those free radicals. Some other things include making sure that you're adding nuts and seeds onto your salads, including them in your snack packs. So something super easy that you can carry with you, but at the same time, it's making a huge difference in your overall routine. Things that you enjoy, making sure that you're really capitalizing on that. Who doesn't love a good avocado? Avocado on your salad. You could do a little bit of avocado with some carrots. You can do some with celery. So it's always delicious. And one of the things that I really wanted to focus on, well, actually, I have some more examples here that I really like sharing. Pomegranates, strawberries, you have your dragon fruit there. So many good parts that you can have as snacks, but also you can use as ingredients for something like a delicious salad. So I have also my base here as a salad. So you have your greens, you can mix and match whatever you enjoy. I really like spinach and kale, so I tend to mix that in pretty heavily. But let's find different ways that we can make this salad even more enjoyable. So, for example, I have my base here. Why don't we add in some avocado? So, getting some good avocado chunks in there. We're including some of those healthy fats that we talked about. We can mix our own salad dressings too, using olive oil. You can use a little bit of tossed sesame oil, including a little bit of low sodium soy sauce, all ingredients that are going to make for a delicious salad dressing. But it's also going to be a healthier salad dressing rather than having something that's going to be filled with saturated fats. So add in our olive oil, add in a little bit of lemon juice, just a tiny little splash to get a little bit of a tart taste to it. And add in that sesame oil that I was talking about. A couple dabs there. A little bit of the soy sauce. And then you can incorporate other things like sesame seeds. So it's really easy to make a delicious salad dressing. You can mix and match whatever you like, the ingredients that you typically go for. And this is something that you know what you're putting into your body. It's healthy items that are really going to do a huge service for your body. So toss that salad dressing in there. Got some craisins, some dried fruit if you like them, some seeds, sesame, pumpkin seeds. Even one of my favorite things to add into. You can always add it in on the salad dressing, or you could just sprinkle it on top, a little bit of ginger, just add a couple little bits in there.
Yeah, I love that because I always want to incorporate more ginger into my salad, or into what I eat. But I was like, oh, what do I do with this? It seems so. But you just grate it right onto your salad. That's a great idea.
A little bit of grating of ginger is going to give it that really strong kick of flavor, but at the same time, it's going to blend so beautifully with all the foods that you're incorporating in there. So it gives it a variety of different flavors, a whole bunch of different textures, and it just makes your salad that much more tasty. So if you can find different ways of making sure that you're getting those veggies into your routine, like building a salad that you're really going to enjoy, then you're more likely to keep doing those routines on a daily basis. So find what works for you. Find those ingredients that you like.
Yeah, I love it. And I love, that simple salad dressing that you just made just now really quickly, less 30 seconds, right? To make it, putting like olive oil or toasted sesame oil, soy sauce, and lemon or lime juice. Those are all things that I have at home, to think of like just putting it together and make your own salad dressing. And to me, homemade salad dressing just always tastes so much better than anything you buy at the store, which is really great too.
And the best part of it all is you can always mix it, match it a little bit more. So if you're adding a little bit more of an ingredient, you like a little bit more of a tart taste, you like a little bit more of the sweet taste, and it's whatever you choose. And so you're getting to create it using ingredients that you have at home.
Right. And, of course, we're talking about heart health and just eating for your health. And I think what you're trying to show us here, it doesn't have to be complicated, right? It doesn't have to be costly and buy all these things. And you just make simple things and simple recipes that you can find right in your own home.
Exactly. Don't complicate things. Just do what's easiest for you and make sure that you're taking your heart and your health into account.
Yeah, and you mentioned, just some of the things about the Asian American community. I know when we talk about that, people might be surprised it affects Asian Americans as well as other groups as well. So we're not immune, right, when it comes to that. And in age too. I mean, I've just been, seeing people younger and younger now, either dying from heart disease or being affected, and that's kind of surprising.
It is. I mean, the more we have access to fast food, we have access to foods that are prepared and processed, the less nutrients we're adding into our body and the more harm we're doing to ourselves. So with that ease and access to unhealthy foods, packaged foods, things that'll sit on the shelf forever, it's so easy to go and grab those foods and to think, well, this is something quick and easy and I'll put off being healthy until tomorrow. But when you see how easy it can be to do something healthy into your regular routine, that basically took me just as long as it would have taken me to unwrap all the pieces of a salad dressing container. So you can do something that's going to be healthier for you. You just have to get into a routine or find something that's going to be easy for you and that you're going to like.
Right. And, there's all that talk about wanting, staying away from processed food and eating more whole foods. And, they say obesity is one of the things that factor into this. And people always say, right, and I'm sure you agree, that eating more whole foods is like kind of the number one thing you can do to improve your health and your heart as well.
Right. The whole foods are really going to give you a good source of nutrition. It's going to be directly from the source, and it's really giving you that best benefit of those nutrients rather than something that's already processed. And the reality is that the more you're loving the foods that you're eating, the more likely you're going to do it. And we also know that obesity and other complications of it come with the imbalance of hormones, having an increase in cortisol. Cortisol comes from a negative reaction or a negative feeling. And so your body is basically producing this hormone that's built up when you're in some level of stress. And so that stress further piles on and causes more and more of those issues within your body. So giving your body some love. And again, the opposite of the cortisol is oxytocin. That's the love hormone. And that's a really, really important thing to also keep in mind during Valentine's Day, because loving your family, loving those around you, that's a great hormone that's releasing some positive things within your body. That's also helping fight off a lot of disease, inflammation, and things like that. So having oxytocin, even just giving a kiss, holding someone's hand, petting your dog, all of those things are releasing things like oxytocin, which is also helping out your body a lot. So focus on the things that you're enjoying and limit the things that are causing you harm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jaime Rangel, spreading the love and good information on this Valentine's Day and on this month, American Heart Month. We want everyone to stay healthy and happy, of course, every day of the year. Thank you so much, Jaime, a nutrition and wellness manager for ACDC, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you and to all of you listening and watching us right now here on PHLV Radio on this episode of Family in Focus. And we'll be back next week. Have a great day.